Dave, let's move on to something that might be a little bit more fun to talk about. Eurovision Song Contest, the story of Fire Saga,
Hmm.
directed by David Dobkins, who you might know from Wedding Crashers, the Gary Sanchez production. You got Will Ferrell in the lead role as Lars. You have Rachel McAdams in the co-starring role as is it Sight? Sing?
Sure.
Sing? Yeah, something like that. The Icelandic duo who's obsessed with, or I guess you should say Lars is obsessed with the Eurovision Song Contest. Unexpectedly end up making it to it, and hilarity ensues, or does it? That's what I want to ask you, Dave. Did you enjoy Eurovision?
Yeah, I did like it. I thought it was pretty fun.
Mhm.
Could be funnier. There could have been more jokes, but I thought it was pretty fun. And what I was surprised to see with this is that the movie actually treats the Eurovision contest, the long, obviously decades long phenomenon in Europe that is not happening in 2020. It actually treats that contest, that institution, with like respect
Yeah,
and homage in a way. And you could see that because they put so much time and effort into creating all these original songs for this movie to be
yeah,
performed by the various contestants.
with
So
really high production
yeah,
on the performances too.
so I really liked all everything about that, and I actually think this is one of the this is a far cry from anything close to Pantheon Will Ferrell, but I actually think this is his best movie in a long time.
Hmm.
Uh, and also probably one of his better performances in a long time too. Because we got to remember, like he had Downhill come out this year before Corona. Nobody liked it. He had what the Daddy's Home movies. He had Get Hard. He's had a lot of Holmes and Watson. He's had a lot of misses lately.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is probably one of his better movies until we look at like the early part of the 2010s. So yeah, it's late period Will Ferrell, but
Yeah,
I thought he was pretty funny, particularly when he was making fun of the American travelers.
yeah, that part was really good. I didn't really love Will Ferrell in this, and that might be because I found so many of the other actors around him just like totally shining. Rachel
Mm-hmm.
McAdams was, I thought, awesome in this, and I really found her character to be the most engaging. Besides our guy Dan Stevens
Yeah,
as Alexander Lentov, and man, you want to talk about charisma? This guy comes in playing the villain, and you almost kind of want Rachel McAdams to end up with him. Like at one point, I'm like, man, I kind of want this to go a totally different way than I'm expecting right now.
right. And I think that's what's funny too, is because like this plot is ultimately very predictable but formulaic. You see the beats before they
Mm-hmm.
happen.
Yeah,
Yet the affect with Dan Stevens' performance, you're like, wait, is it going where I think it's going? Yeah, it goes there. But you're like, wait a minute, like So I actually really liked that. Uh,
definitely.
and like the introduction to his character in earnest when you're at that party of his,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of leads into a almost Pitch Perfect esque like sing along number, which
Mm-hmm.
again really strong production values. It was kind of funny to see right before that scene a very obvious green screen moment between Stevens and Adams where they're on the balcony overlooking Edinburgh,
Mm-hmm.
even though they were actually shooting in the city, yet they needed a fake green screen shot, I guess, to pick up later. Don't know. But
Yep.
yeah, I think in general, the production values were cool. Again, we're in Iceland. And
Yep.
actually the elves coming back with the knife later on in the story, I thought was actually laugh out loud hilarious. I didn't expect that to happen. Gonna get the Graham Norton cameo, which is nice too. He's like kind of the most underrated of those late night hosts. If you watch anything on YouTube, it seems he gets the best out of all his celebrity interviews. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I think there's a lot here to have
I,
fun with.
I I agree. I think it's a fun movie. I wouldn't necessarily say it was good, but definitely a lot to I think enjoy. I really liked the bit with Demi Lovato, playing
Yeah.
this like star Katiana, who's obviously going to win the song contest. She's just that good. Dies in this boat explosion, then comes back as a ghost to Will Ferrell over and over, but not a very good ghost or a helpful
Yeah.
ghost, which I thought was a pretty good bit. Um, I also there are a
Can't you
lot of
see the
like
elves killed him? Not a very good ghost.
there are also a lot of like those people in there, and one that I wanted to see if you could spot them was Kevin Swain. Did you recognize him at all? Have
No.
you? So
Is he
in
one of the Icelandic? music
He was
people.
like the head of Iceland's creative team, the one who like really liked Alexander, might have
Oh, right.
actually had feelings for him.
Yes.
He's the guy with the big teeth in Fleabag season 1 that she goes on the date with and ends up ditching. When I saw
Wow.
him, I was like, oh, I haven't seen I've seen that guy before, and then I spotted it a couple scenes in. But you also have the bad guy, Mikael Persbrandt, who
Hmm.
is the plumbing dad in
Sex
um,
education.
Sex Education. Yes, yeah. I mean, I thought this was really delightful. Even I've never heard of her before, but Melissa Anthony Mahut,
Yeah,
who played
Mita.
Mita, I thought she was really electric when she was on screen. And
So I
that
actually have
whole
heard of her before.
really
I was looking just looking into it. She plays Cassandra in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is a very well liked
ah,
performance from 2018, the video game, of course. And she was
nice.
playing a Greek warrior then, and she's a Greek actor, and now she's playing a Greek character in the show. Kind of cool. Good for her.
Definitely. And I think where when it really thrives is when it's either Stevens and McAdams on screen. The performances, like the one where they really butcher it with the wheel, and then
Yeah.
Graham Norton, it's like the scarf, and then just getting choked out. I thought that was really good. Or like you said, I think when they're kind of bagging on America, that was probably the other part I found
Yeah.
most enjoyable. Um, any other thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean Pierce Brosnan kind of
Yeah,
token presence as the disappointed dad
yeah.
of Lars, but whatever. They did make some funny jokes about how he's banged half the town and stuff, and they're like kind of making jokes at the expense of Pierce Brosnan's handsomeness, which I thought was funny. Also, the whole thing about Yaya Ding Dong, play Yaya Ding Dong, and they
Mm-hmm.
actually play it second time at the end. The
Yep.
guy who was yelling that from the town played a small role on Game of Thrones. I only knew that because I recognized his actor name, Johannesson.
Hmm.
So
Interesting.
yeah, I think it was pretty funny. And McAdams, I think this is another, like you said, it's a good turn from her. And we had remarked on her return to comedy in 2018 with Game Night. I think this is a continuation of that. It's cool to see her back doing, I think, some lighter stuff after spending some time in the drama uh, dungeons. So yeah, man.
Give her more comedy roles. Really delightful. And Dan Stevens too. Give him more roles as well.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. That was good from him. Stan and McAdams, they did not sing in this movie. In case anyone was wondering, that was dubbed over by real, I think, European singers.
Yeah.
But if you can read into it, they put a lot of work into making all of these songs and recordings and stuff. Which, like I said, I think is actually a nice touch for anyone who's a fan of Eurovision. They're not like lambasting anything with this movie.
For sure. Will Ferrell definitely sang though. Pretty evident.
Oh no, he did. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And it's like by design supposed to be bad. So
Right.
you don't have to. He's not to sell anything.